Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland,
New York,
New Jersey,
Indianapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa,
Massachusetts,
Georgia,
Canada,
Our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesia,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Hilton Head,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
To my
DC Points.
Well, welcome home, neighbors, to episode 123 of the Mighty VC Points Community Hall Live podcast. My name is Chad, and I'm going to be your host tonight for this discussion where we are going to brainstorm some tips together for what Disneylanders need to know when they come to Walt Disney World. That's right, this is a live show, and we are asking everybody in our community to chime in, tune in, and speak up their thoughts and opinions so that we can give this information back to some really good friends of Gina and who are Disneylanders that are making their almost once in a lifetime, maybe second in a lifetime trip to Walt Disney World. Not very frequent, but they know a lot about Disneyland as well. But before we get into today's show, I want to do a huge shout out of thanks to our sponsor over at DVC Rental Store, where if you need more points or you want to tack on an additional stay, come back over to dvcrentalstore.com where you can pick up that few extra points. You can sneak in that extra trip and kind of put add-on itis at bay by just using another member's points as well. They've got some guaranteed reservations on their site that are going for all-time low rates that are just a smoking deal if you could catch them. I believe I saw some coming up for next weekend for about $128 a night, $138 a night over at Saratoga Springs in a studio. That is just a smoking deal. That is like hot wire level of awesomeness in some of those deals that pop up on those last minute reservations and the guaranteed reservations. And what that is it's members that have use or lose points. Person probably has a June use year. And so June 1st, those points died. So they grabbed a reservation the last that they could, and they kept discounting it all the way down. If you know how the system works, you can jump in on that. Be sure to go over to dvcrentalstore.com. Let them know you heard about them here on the Mighty VC Points platform, and be sure to check the drop-down box on their website that you heard about them from the Mighty VC Points podcast. Now, let's come back in, and I'm going to welcome to the show our co-host, or I guess regular host. I'm just kind of filling in tonight as well. Let's welcome in Marianne. How you doing tonight, Marianne?
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
I am glad to have you back. It's glad to do another show with you as well, because we don't get to hang out all that often and as much anymore.
Not anymore.
We've got an interesting scenario tonight, and you and I are going to be leading the conversation and brainstorming with our listeners in this live interactive chat. So let's welcome up our show producer tonight, Gina. So Gina, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, good. I have a scenario. This came up at work, actually a real conversation from work. And I was telling Chad about it. And he's like, let's just turn this into a show. So here we are.
Okay, so run this by us. We've got a scenario here.
All right. So I have a coworker. She is a full-time school teacher. She and her husband also have a realtor business.
Mhm.
They have 4 children, ages 17 is the oldest. That's a son. They have a daughter who's 14. They have another daughter who's 8, and then they have a son who's 4. This is their schmooze realtor conference, and they're bringing the kids and the babysitter for 8 days. They luckily listened to me, and they rented points, and they're renting at Saratoga Springs.
Okay.
And they unfortunately only have 3 days as a family to do parks. And I spoke to mom, and she said they really just want to do, they don't want any hoppers. They really just want to do one park, one day for the family of 6 and the babysitter family of 7. And then they also need 2 golf days for them. And the older kids can go off on their own. They're okay with that. And the littles need to stay with the babysitter. That's kind of the gist that I got from her. So I need you guys to plan for her. What parks should they do as a family? Because remember, the kids can do whatever. They have 8 days, and the babysitter and the babies have 8 days. So, and then
Okay. So first off, 3 days, no hopper, 4 parks, something's getting cut. So which one of these 4 parks are you going to cut for this family? Now, keep in mind,
So where should they play?
where should they play? That's our number one question. And what park are you going to cut here? So, Marianne, do you have any thoughts to lead this off? And yes, Lauren, they have been to Disneyland multiple times.
Oh yeah, they live with me. They had passes and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're regulars at Disneyland. This is their once in a forever type trip to Disney World. So I know we've got some smoking TAs that are out there in the audience, and I know Lauren is one of them. So we're all going to put our TA hats on as well. But if you're a TA and I know about it, I'll call you out on the show and give you some props as well.
Yeah.
So Marianne, why don't you lead us off here with what's your thoughts? What park are you cutting?
Well, I'm thankful that they were wise enough not to get hoppers, because I think if you live in California and you're always at those California parks where you can literally walk next door, run from one side of one park to the other side of the other park, and it is no big deal to hop. Whereas I think most people, then they get here and they go, it takes 90 minutes on Disney transportation potentially to hop. That's a lot of your day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was very wise. When we talked about this earlier, just the scenario, and I was like, ooh, I hope they aren't planning on hopping. No. So I'm thankful that they took your advice on that one. They're not going to hop. If I was going to eliminate a park for this particular family and this particular scenario, I'm going to eliminate Magic Kingdom.
So am I. I said the same.
Yeah, because I think
no Tron.
That's okay.
No 7D.
That's okay.
No Carousel of Progress.
A 4-year-old isn't riding Tron. And so if you're doing it with your family, somebody's sitting out of Tron with your 4-year-old. I know you can do rider swap and all that, but
y'all have Enchanted Tales with Belle over there, Gina?
No.
This is hurting here.
But we have other things, and Tron might be coming. We don't know. Disneyland Forward's a whole thing. We don't even want to talk about that.
Well, and while it's, not very often, the big kids in this scenario, I assume they have more than 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can run and ride Tron if they want. And I guess if it became a real thing and the parents wanted to, tacking on a day that you're going to run in for a half an hour, I mean, if that's that important to you. But I just don't, one ride is not it. I don't think they sound like that kind of family. I think it's more about there's so little time together. Doing all that stuff together is important. So I think that their best bang for their buck is Animal Kingdom, because there is nothing at all like that. And most of the time you spend at Animal Kingdom, you do spend as a family. It is not all about the attraction rides themselves, but about the shows and the animal exhibits and those activities.
I think Animal Kingdom is a keeper for sure, because
there's no question.
We only have the San Diego Zoo, which is not the same. There's no attractions. There's no Pandora. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, okay, we're keeping Animal Kingdom. MK is on the chopping block right now. Let's talk about Epcot as well. Because there you've got Frozen Ever After for the little girls, right? So, or I guess the one little girl would really get into Frozen.
I think any girl. I even think the teenager would like it. I even think she'd enjoy it.
Well, I think that if you haven't ridden Frozen Ever After before, we've ridden it 1,000 times. I think that if you haven't ridden it and you didn't know what happened in Maelstrom, when you get to that part where it goes backwards, all of a sudden out of the blue, that makes it exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, even for big kids.
And even when they went, they were really little, so they probably don't even remember. Because when the big kids went, they were like 6 and 3 or whatever.
So you've got Remy for sure. Everybody's on board with Remy.
Right.
Okay. That's a must do. Soarin' they can skip because they've got the exact same thing over in DCA.
Yeah.
And then Test Track.
It's fun. I think they should do it. They
have bigger kids that build in a car competition nonsense is really fun for.
Okay.
They could even single rider it and just have the baby, somebody stay with the baby and they just all single rider it.
Got it. Okay.
There's Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think that if you're talking about new rides, new big rides, which one's
the best
gonna
ride
win
in Walt
out?
Disney World?
So,
let's just be honest.
So then Magic Kingdom Tron doesn't even come close to beating out Epcot in that scenario. because there's also so many more little kid things to do. There are just tons of little kid things to do that the whole family can do together at Epcot. Granted, they're all at what they have it all at Magic Kingdom too, but they have all of that in California. So to
They
me,
don't
that
have
just
Nemo
doesn't
over
make
there, right? No Nemo?
We have the submarine Nemo version, but we don't have the shell. No.
Yeah,
It's
you guys
different.
don't.
It's different. And we don't
It's
have an
different.
aquarium. We don't have an aquarium when you get out. There's no aquarium. That's super cool.
You guys do have Turtle Talk with Crush.
Yes.
Okay.
They can skip that.
So they can skip that one. They don't have the aquarium. They don't have this. Just keep coming around the park
We don't
here.
have Living with the Land. That's an amazing, I love that boat.
Mhm.
And they could do that. They could even do Behind the Seeds tour. Like that's really special.
3 Caballeros. That's going to be
yeah, we don't
unique
have
to
that.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value. And then Mom and Dad's
Spaceship
going to
Earth.
Mission
love
Space.
drinking around the world, maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
And while Mom and Dad are drinking around the world, the whole family can play the new DuckTales game. They don't have that in California.
No, we don't have that.
Do you
We don't
have any of
Epcot.
those kind of experience type
Yes,
activities?
we
I
do.
don't. I mean, not being a California
Yeah,
girl, I don't.
We
really
do
know.
have the craft stations, but only during Food and Wine and during Festival of the Holidays and during our
Mhm.
special events. We don't have it all the time. So that'll be good.
And then like DuckTales, do you have anything
No.
like that?
It's no. We don't have that. We
So
just have,
that
like,
would be
little
really
arts.
fun then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm down with Epcot, right? And so I think we've pretty much sold everybody on Epcot. I heard one initial cut Epcot as well. Just catch up on some of the comments
Yeah.
here. Vicky is saying Epcot and Animal Kingdom are must-dos for D-Land people.
Yes.
And then I guess I got to catch way back up on the conversation with that one. So let's just start it from the top then.
Yeah.
And then Tommy is saying cut for the family, cut Epcot. And ooh, I don't think we're there yet, Tommy. And
Tommy, I need you to come up with some reasons why when they go to Disneyland like every weekend. You need to
Right.
come up with some reasons why.
okay.
They have passes. Or they had
Yeah.
passes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lauren's saying cut Magic Kingdom.
Mhm.
Frederica is saying since they're Disneyland people, cut Magic Kingdom.
This is my initial feeling too.
right.
And then go to
Lauren's
Lauren's. This
saying
is
the
one.
kids with the babysitter can go to MK.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh,
right? So
absolutely.
the babysitter could take them to Enchanted Tales with Belle
Mm-hmm.
and Country Bear Jamboree and some
And
of the
Carousel. Right.
other Carousel. And I'm trying to think. They
People Mover, because People Mover is awesome. We don't have that.
yeah,
here.
they don't have People Mover. The little kids can
So
ride People Mover.
that's
Monsters
great.
Inc. Laugh Floor. Do you
Oh
guys
yeah,
have that?
that's cute. No, and that's cute.
So yeah, Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor is pretty fun. And just working my way through the park. You guys have an aerial ride, right?
Exactly the
No,
same.
no 7D. The little one might be old enough to get on that one or tall enough.
I don't know if he would even enjoy it. He's not. I don't know if I don't know.
Yeah.
That might
okay.
not. It might be scary. I don't know because they changed our Snow White ride even to not be scary anymore. So I don't even know.
Got it.
So
Got it. So our poo is different than yours.
your poo's better. That's the
Yeah.
one thing Disney World did better.
I was going to
Like-
say, because when you're talking about better,
It's better.
when you look at all the classic rides, Disneyland does them better.
No,
and
we
how
do except for Winnie the
disappointing.
Pooh.
How disappointing if you're on It's a Small World at
Oh,
Walt Disney
gosh.
World and you look around and you go,
This is terrible.
oh,
Yeah.
oh. I mean, Pirates. Oh, comparatively,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
it'll
I
be
mean,
a good
Yeah,
people eater.
yeah.
Good for the babysitter to kill a day. So yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. We used to have them on Splash, but
Mhm.
that's a thing of the past. Maybe we'll have them on Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
You might because it's a better flume.
Ride track.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, the
we
flume
have
is
we have
better.
like 25% more time on in
Yeah.
the boat. So we very well could have them there as well. And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know that I like our Jungle Cruise any better. I don't know that. Yeah.
Our jokes are better.
Yeah, I'm 100%. So the babysitter's got a day she could kill there with them.
Absolutely.
Like I think we're safe with saying that.
Yeah.
Now let's come back over and shift focus over to Hollywood. And the one thing I know, they have Midway Mania there. It's 100% the same.
Yep.
And, our queue is a little different. The queue's cute, but it's not worth it unless you're just killing time there.
It's exactly the same. Yeah.
Right? Slinky Dog is definitely a must do there.
It's a must do, especially for the 4-year-old. Because we don't have we have nothing like that. We have just Go Coaster, which is more like Barnstormer. We have nothing like Slinky.
Yeah. And so that's definitely a must do. y'all just got Mickey and Minnie's, so that's
Mhm.
kind of meh.
Similar. It's similar.
All of Galaxy's Edge is darn near
Exactly
identical.
exactly the same.
Y'all have like an extra entrance to it or something that
Mhm.
logistically
Yeah.
we couldn't pull off. So we have Rock and Roller Coaster, which the teens will dig, but
Mhm.
not the little kids. Our tower, the teens would dig.
Better. It's a better ride than our former one. Yeah.
Than your former one, but not your current one.
I know.
'Cause,
Our
like,
Guardians is better. Guardians is better.
Guardians, yeah, Mission Breakout kick things up a
Yeah.
few notches. And McNair's pretty ticked at me for that one, but I'm sorry, buddy. They kicked you up a notch.
It's
What can I
true.
say?
Tina, do you
Yeah.
have Frozen sing-along?
No.
Okay, come on. Frozen sing-along.
Frozen
We don't have
sing-along.
we only have Disney Junior. We don't have anything else. We have the Disney Junior, Turtle Talk with Crush over there, and I'm trying to think of the other. We have what's it called? PhilharMagic.
We don't know when Voyage of the Little Mermaid's coming back, right? If it is at all.
For there. Yeah, I don't know
If we had it back, that would be a must
Oh,
do.
the other thing that's
Indiana Jones.
Indiana
It would
Jones
be.
is cool. And there's another thing I was like, "Oh, we don't have that." Just the other show. What? Oh, Muppet Vision. We don't have Muppet Vision anymore, and they would love that.
Oh,
The
yeah.
littles would love that.
Got it. Where was Muppet Vision there?
It is behind Award Wieners.
Okay.
Now it's PhilharMagic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably a better use of the theater.
It
there.
is. People are going there more, but I liked Muppet Vision.
Got it.
Yeah.
You and me, Muppet Vision, June.
Yes, we'll do it.
Okay.
We'll do it. I like it.
And so Vicky is saying there's an argument to cut Hollywood because it's a lot of the same, right? Except for Slinky Rock and Roller Coaster. I think we just covered that. I think we put enough in there that I'm fairly comfortable saying cut Magic Kingdom as a family and do that. Although I'm going to die on the hill saying you're going to miss Cinderella's Castle, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique with the little girl. It is the number one thing he could do as a dad. And if you play this show back to him, I'm going to die on the hill here.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Like this is worth just him and her taking an extra day for a daddy-daughter date and make that thing happen, right? The number one thing you can ever do with a small daughter at Walt Disney World. And this is from a dad of two girls, bar none.
I think my dad of two girls would tell you that it was the biggest waste of money that he has ever spent.
He's a tightwad. Okay, let's just
even if he wasn't, his first daughter, who did really enjoy it, but when we look back at it, it was a lot of money for stuff that, playing pretend, which she does a lot anyway.
We have Bippity Boppity Boutique. I'm sure the little one has.
And your castle can't hang with ours. It's like 1/10 the size.
But they can walk through and read the Aurora.
Come talk to me when y'all get a real castle, okay? Like
we don't have a restaurant.
Sorry,
in there,
when
Katie
Tracy
make all the Disneyland people mad. I'm going to own it. Y'all's castle is just lame.
Our classic baby,
and y'all get all upset over it. Deal
with our
with
little baby,
right?
Oh, we
it was the OG. I'll give them that.
And we Matterhorn.
Sorry, Marianne. I'm tired of talking over you. Right?
When we asked Katie whether or not she wanted to do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, we gave her the choice at 3 different ages before she aged out of it, and each time she said no. So I think while it might be something that was fabulous for the Pennycuff girls, I think that is family dependent. If you have the opportunity to do it at home, I don't think wasting one of your 3 days as a family split and not together as a family is probably not a wise choice. And that's probably the hill I'll die on.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
actually,
I would tell them, let's cut a golf day short. Let's cut something else short.
That's part of their job.
I was going to say, it sounds like that's part of the business.
Yeah, that's part of the job.
Squeak it in somehow. I'm just telling you, especially if you now you could have Katie. To me, does not seem like she's like super far off on the foo frilly kind of side, right? And is that a fair assessment, Marianne? Like,
so when she was little, she dressed up as Elsa like 300 days a year. So 300 days 1 year. So yeah, I think she's had her frou-frou-y. You've known
during
her
that stage. School. I think her dressing up as Elsa and meeting Elsa would have been awesome.
Well, yeah, she enjoyed meeting all of them, but to her, That was just, and maybe it was because of her personality also. She doesn't like the world's attention on her either.
Mhm.
That could be it as well.
Yeah.
And
That could be it.
so while Sarah doesn't mind the world's attention on her and dressing up like she at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and doing that whole nonsense was really great for her. I will tell you the only reason I spent the money on it was because at the time there was only one Dumbo. And it was the surefire way to be on the first round of Dumbo for the day and not have to wait in the Dumbo or Die line. So I
Mhm.
booked a pre-park open Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, and we were at the rope when the fairy godmother dropped it and ran, and we were on the first ride on
Oh,
Dumbo.
that's cool. That's
So
So there's some strategery to your.
there was strategic reasons why I spent that exorbitant amount of money letting Sarah Tracy do that nonsense.
Got it. So let's try to pick back up with the audience comments here and see how they're all yelling at me. But Steve says Hollywood Studios or Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom has a lot of similar rides, but fun to compare. Hollywood does not have a lot of new rides to offer. And I think it's our shows there that
it's
are
the shows.
Yeah, it's the show.
And think of the littles and as a family, yeah.
It's definitely the shows there. And Epcot and Animal Kingdom has a lot more new things to offer. So Lauren's saying the restaurant options at Epcot outweigh MK. Mealtime is important.
And also with Hollywood Studios, they have that sci-fi dining, which would be super fun for the family, and the 50s prime time. So they have two fun family options where I feel like Magic Kingdom's meal options are not as good for the family.
And if I'm correct, character dining in California is 1,000 times better than character dining in Orlando.
And they don't need to waste time on that because they have that. We have better character interactions regardless.
Yeah. Characters are far better in Disneyland all the way around, right? So just a comment I'm throwing up here that's off just because I so identify with this is Stephen Nick. I'm adoptable. Like, so yeah.
I keep saying that too.
And then Lauren saying also the family can use deluxe hours and go to MK as a family if they can stay up late since they're staying at Saratoga. I think they have to have a park ticket that day. Do they have to have hoppers to do that?
You'd have to.
I think so.
I think you'd have to have a hopper to do that. But that might be worth the price of a hopper to be able to get the fourth.
Can you do that? Can you buy a 1-day hopper, just one out of your package?
No, but the hopper edition I don't think is that big of a.
It's one set fee for the entire length of the package.
No matter how many days it is.
Yeah, I don't think they want to do that. They'd be like, we don't need it for every day. They just want it for the one day.
Yep. And then Vicky is saying, I think Hollywood Studios is better for the babysitter to take the kids.
A lot easier to watch a bunch of kids at a show than it is on rides.
Mm-hmm. And she'll probably take them anyway. Like they have 3 extra days. So they'll probably.
Frederica is backing me up on the daddy-daughter time here. Right. And then Sleeping Beauty Castle's greater than Cinderella Castle.
She said it.
Yeah. No. You couldn't even fit in our shadow. Like.
I don't know. It's really pretty. It's a pretty castle.
It is.
It's charming. Yeah. Our castle is charming.
So yes.
And Walt Disney was in that castle.
And he thought it.
That's Walt Disney's castle.
It's his brain.
Okay. And so we've started down the dining path. Let's just jump over to that question as well.
Yes.
What do you guys recommend that they should do for must-do dining? Marianne, I'm going to have you kick this off again.
Must-do dining. Well, if they go to Hollywood Studios, I'd say either one of the 2 diner style restaurants would be a good choice. It's super family friendly and happy. I think that they should hit Woody's Lunchbox.
Oh yeah.
As a quick service at that option there, because you don't have anything like that in California. I mean, they've got better food overall in California, but you got to eat. You got to eat. And those, the cute little, Woody Lunchbox. I'm going to guess in the million places in the world that you could have better barbecue because I haven't been there, but I can't imagine every time I have Disney barbecue, I shake my head and go, this Kansas City girl just shakes her head. So, if I'm at Epcot, holy cow, there's so many choices.
So let's finish up Hollywood first. So sci-fi
those are
diner,
the only 3 I would do.
Right. Yeah, sci-fi is notable, and then the diner, the
The
TV
50s.
one, the
Yeah,
The
50s
50s
primetime
prime time.
cafe,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
right?
great one.
Well,
I would
They
that's
could do
where you
that
can
one.
get them Dad's Electric Lemonade, and we all know that
Mhm.
that is a Make Me a Better Mommy drink. It's
Mhm.
on the official list of the Make Me
Yeah,
a Better Mommy drinks.
Yes.
yeah, and so that one's an official. Yes, so those recommendations, I think you can skip Hollywood and Vine.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
character meals. It's Disney Junior characters.
We have
It's
that.
yucky
So
food.
yeah,
We
yeah.
have Disney Junior here.
So okay, so I think that we've got the primaries down for Hollywood. Brown Derby is good, but I don't know that I'm taking it as a family.
And we have Hollywood Brown Derby, the real one. So why would you
Why
do
would you
that?
go to the fake?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have the real one in Hollywood.
It's like the mini castle versus the big castle.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. I will take that as a touche, but is well, because you're agreeing with me on that one as well. So okay, then I think that's Hollywood, right? Epcot. We've got a ton of great
World
options.
Showcase done. Like that's it.
I mean, it's
We've got nothing. We've got nothing on World Showcase. Nothing.
Yeah.
Space
I mean,
220. If you
yeah.
want to have a sit down family dinner, there's nothing like Space 220 in
Space
California.
220, if it's food and wine, which it sounds like it because it's kicking off like what, July 3rd or 4th. The concerts are starting now
Mm-hmm.
insanely early.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, yeah.
you've got food and wine starting to ramp
Oh,
up
yeah.
and kick in. You've got all of
More
that.
fun.
So Monsieur Paul's, you've got really, really, really great options there. So many
They
that
can't go to Monsieur Paul as
They
a
can
family.
No, they can
They
go
have
to
someone too little. They
Napoli.
have 2 people too little.
Yeah, they can go.
It
to,
is a 12 and up at Monsieur Paul, I believe.
okay.
There's
Yeah.
an age.
They have
thing.
two littles. Yeah.
Okay. But Le Cellier,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'd
Oh,
check
they're
that
good.
off the list. I'm not
Yeah.
a big fan of it.
But they love steak. They're a steak family. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Napoli,
definitely
yeah.
a good option. Via Napoli for the pizza. That's a
Mhm.
Walt Disney World classic as well. So yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with food choices in Epcot.
And even they can do Connections Cafe for quick service. They can
Yes.
do that. What's inside the Land Pavilion? That's
Sunshine
a really
Seasons.
that Sunshine Seasons. That's a great quick service. They have plenty of options.
Yeah, plenty
There's
of options
so
there.
many options.
Yeah.
They're set.
So now what at Animal Kingdom? Because we pretty much said we're sending them to Animal Kingdom. So what are the dining choices that you're going to have them do there?
I'm going to have them have lunch at Satule Canteen
Okay.
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
in
that's
Pandora because
that's
the kids' meals are Katie Tracy friendly, and if Katie Tracy will eat it, then anybody will eat it. And the adult meals are interesting and elevated and just a little bit different. So there's something for everyone there. And I think that's a really great option. I would look at either Tiffin/Nomad Lounge type time frame for dinner, or you can get done with Animal Kingdom and head on over to Animal Kingdom Lodge, I think, and hit Sanaa or Boma or Chico and have that experience there.
I think they should do
Because-
Boma.
Because Animal Kingdom, while it's a wonderful park and it'll be great for them to do, it isn't an 8-hour park, even
No,
if
it's
you
not a whole
see
day.
everything.
Mhm.
So they have time to have a nice family dinner at Boma or someplace like that, where they can get bread service and they can have, all the really unique African food that isn't really an option necessarily at Disneyland.
No,
Yeah,
not at all.
it's-
We have nothing.
They kick it up with the flavors over there that I
Mhm.
think any of those restaurants would be my choice for dinner. And I would even say we haven't got to it yet, but coming back on some of those convention nights, because they are staying on property,
Yeah.
you could easily pop back over to a resort restaurant over there as well. And
Yeah.
so let's open this up to all of Walt Disney World and Disney Springs. What's some of our top recommendations for this family for dining outside of the theme parks now?
If they're a steak family, they should go to Steakhouse 71 for sure.
Yeah, they are a steak family.
They should go to Steakhouse
Yeah.
71. It's affordable, but it's really good. And
And if they do it right, they could still watch fireworks. So
oh,
even if, yeah,
absolutely. What a great family opportunity that'd be. You know what? If they don't
California
have,
Grill, and then they're upstairs to watch fireworks.
they are, or you eat at Steakhouse 71, rent the family fireworks cruise. If they want to have a really special, some kind of family event like that, that'd be the perfect evening. That'd
Yeah.
be the perfect evening.
And
Yeah.
then they don't have to go to Magic Kingdom. That's the other thing. They can skip Magic Kingdom if they're going to do that.
I'm actually going to probably say skip the Grand Flow ones. Maybe Ohana for dinner if you want a classic Walt Disney World one. Just know it can be 50-50.
Yeah.
Like it could be a
Yeah.
home run or it could be wah-wah these days.
Yeah.
Like that's the reports that's coming back in.
Yeah.
And so we've got some votes for Via Napoli here back in the parks. Homecoming. Patricia is saying Epcot Garden Grill because the characters are close and fun and it revolves around everything. That one would be a slightly unique thing. And then the food came from downstairs at Living with the Land. So some unique Walt Disney Worldness there. I would say if
That's a
they
hard one with 7 people. I'm just going to say that once you hit 6 people at Garden Grill, I know they will accommodate up to 8, but man, that's really tight. We've done that. It's really tight with 8 people at a table.
Yeah, one of the D-shaped booths, right?
Yeah, it's you're on top of each other. So
Yeah, I would tell them if they could get reservations for Hoop, that is legendary.
That would be-
That would be fun. Yeah.
Like you cannot get more authentic Walt Disney World original than Hoop. Like
mhm.
it's like the number one running theater dining show, I think, in the country as well.
What's the latest time for that? Only because I don't know what time they're done with their
8:30.
stuff. Oh, okay, they could do that one.
8:30. And which if they're still on California time on an arrival day, that's not even late
Yeah.
at all.
No.
Right. So yeah, Hoop would be up there top of my list as well. We've hit the Animal Kingdoms. I think they're phenomenal. I think our Disney Springs has got a lot more choices.
A lot
Mhm.
more.
I'm not going to necessarily say better choices because you guys got some good stuff over in Disneyland.
Morimoto. We don't have Morimoto. That's in Vegas. We don't have, we don't have STK. That's in Vegas. Like we don't have those close
Right.
by. So they can
Right.
definitely do those.
No Raglan Road. That's
No.
another Walt
Yeah.
Disney one that's a classic that's over there.
Mhm.
What's the big cookie shop that everybody goes to? Gaga over
Gideon's.
Gideon's.
Mhm.
Like that thing is there. We did pick up a
Mhm.
Salt and Straw from you guys in
We have that.
Disneyland, right? And they can skip that. They can skip the Splitsville as well.
Yeah, we have that.
Y'all have that. T-Rex might be fun if
Yeah, for the littles.
yeah.
And we
They
have
could-
Landry's. We have Landry's here, so they probably have a Landry's card.
Yeah.
So
If
they
not, we
say-
can sign them up for one. They'll get their money
Yeah.
back, right? So that's a pretty
Yeah.
easy one to come back in and do. And then trying to think as I go around the resorts, Olivia's is always on my list. You can never go wrong at Olivia's now, and never, ever, ever go wrong, especially since they're staying at a DVC resort.
Yeah.
Coming back around here, Yachtsman, pretty decent. Flying Fish, decent. So that
Just not thinking about the
nightlife,
4-year-old. No. They might
Well-
like they would like Beaches and Cream.
Peaches and cream.
yeah.
They would like that.
I'd like to get them somehow onto the Epcot Crescent Lake area as well, at least for one meal, one time to come back in and see it so that they know what it's here and can put that into their repertoire if they ever decide to
Oh,
come
for
back
the
to Walt
future.
Disney World. Yeah. So I would do that. I think you could probably skip Topolino's now that they've changed the breakfast menu. It's not as great a value.
Yeah,
Is it-
and they're not going to be like Walt Disney World people where you have to try every single thing. So you definitely have to hit those top highlighted places.
Yeah. And then as I'm moving back around, I think we've pretty much got the main restaurants covered.
Hmm.
So maybe go up to the Toledo's.
Oh, that place is great. Yes.
That's got a nice view of Walt Disney World and the parks and all of that from up
Where
there
are
as
their
well.
meetings at? Are there meetings at Coronado?
I don't know. They might be. Where's the convention center? Coronado?
One of them is at Coronado.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coronado, Yacht and Grand Flow have
I might be I don't know. I'll ask her. I didn't ask. I just know they're going to be there for that specific thing. And there's golf, 2 days of golf for the schmoozing. I do remember that too.
Got it. You got to schmooze
Important
at those
part.
Arnold
You got to
Palmer.
schmooze. Yep.
It's an important part.
Schmooze at those Arnold Palmer golf courses, man.
Yep.
Yep. I completely get that as well. So that's probably makes Saratoga a good choice for that as well, because it's
Yeah.
right there where you get on and off the main course as well. So any other comments here from people? Holly's throwing out some love for Wilderness Lodge. How could I forget my own home resort, Holly? So Geyser Point is on point and amazing. Storybook Dining is a unique character experience with decent food.
That's
so I don't know that you guys have an evil queen that can hang with ours.
We don't have any Snow White interactions.
Yeah,
we just have her in the park.
Yeah.
Well, that might be interesting then if you wanted to plan
if they wanted to do a character meal.
Yep. And then Patricia, they've got Splitsville over in Disneyland. So they could easily go do that one on any given weekend or weeknight, as a matter of fact, because they're
we
pretty
got
close.
good deals. Yeah, we got good deals after work. Yeah, we're really close from work.
Yeah. So I think we've kind of got that done. Is there any other activities that we should get done? Because I know Hoop is outside the parks. That's on my list. Anything else? The golf courses, if they're golfers, absolutely positively on the list as well. The happiest place on turf cannot be denied, right?
And then, Marianne, what were you saying about the littles with the babysitter with getting into the theme parks?
So I think that it would be wise as when they go to the parks, one thing is you have to remember is that little people's fingerprints are dependent on how they put them on, and often they get messed up. And when you mess up when your kid's fingerprint doesn't work, the cast member has a parent have their fingerprint also hooked up to a little kid. Well, if dad's fingerprint is hooked up to the 4-year-old's and he's at a business meeting and the babysitter takes the little to the park, she's not getting in with that little without a lot of hoops to jump through and annoyance. So probably it is wise, if the babysitter is going to be with them the whole time, for her to use her fingerprint as the number one adult with that child. I just think there's some wisdom in that.
No, definitely. And I think she'll be with them for the whole duration. She might get one night off, but
right. Yeah. So, and my other recommendation would be to do a family thing outside of the park. Do a fireworks cruise. You don't have to have a park ticket to do a fireworks cruise. Yeah. If Magic Kingdom is really that important to you and the time frame of their trip is such that the Halloween parties have started.
Oh.
Our Halloween party is different than California's Halloween party.
100% different.
It might be a really fun thing to do, even if it's August and 2,000 degrees.
Right.
Just make sure you dress up as a beach bum, right?
And the big kids don't have to do it. That's the other thing.
My kids went gaga over trick-or-treating in Magic Kingdom. Like, I do not get it. It is just cheap candy, but this is cheap candy from the Magic Kingdom.
Well, and you've got a babysitter there. Do it on a night before you have meetings all the next day. The babysitter can let those littles sleep in. Mm-hmm. It would be a fantastic way to spend the time as a family in the evening and get to give a little love to Magic Kingdom if you really wanted to. And, it costs the same as another park day, but it's still a very different experience.
Yeah, and it's a family thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I come back into this and I still say they're only little for a little time. And this is because my baby's getting ready to be a senior in
that's her son
high school, right? Yeah. It's like figure out a way and make it happen is what I'm going to say.
Well, that's the reason why she's like, what do we do? Because this is probably the last year he's going to want to travel with us because he's going to college. This is it. He just turned 17. This is the end of it. This is the end of it. So.
Well, the wide age span of family, because I do have some of that in my world. You have to give those bigs an opportunity to really say what they want to do. Mm-hmm. If they don't want a rope drop,
then they don't need to. Yeah.
They don't need to.
Yeah.
Give them, because there's nothing worse than a sulky rebel scum.
Right.
at 8:30 in the morning on the bus. There is nothing worse than you knowing how much money you spent to bring them there and have them all
Right. And I
so you
think
might
that's
as well allow
and I
them to
yeah.
have some say into what you're doing and planning and
Yeah. And I think that's why they're bringing the babysitter for the littles is, look, you guys do whatever, the 14 and 17-year-old, you guys do whatever. We trust you to be on the property and not leave. And
while we're on that topic,
yes.
Disney is a public place. We all feel super safe there. And I have allowed my child to get on the bus and go to Epcot all by herself with her cousin who was the same age and back. And that is fine. I think the parks is very well controlled. Even staying at Saratoga Springs, I would not let my 17 and 14-year-old go to Disney Springs without adult supervision. It's very, very, very open to the public. You don't need a park ticket to get in there. People all throughout the community can be there. I think I would worry more as a mom about that than I would letting them jump on a bus and going to any park they wanted to. So
Yeah,
that's
I
just my
guess the
2
only
cents.
reason why I have a little different take there is I guess our kids have grown up there.
Yeah. That's
So
and
there's
our
not,
downtown Disney is muy
but
pequeño.
yeah, downtown Disney, you almost need a park ticket. You don't technically need one there, but it's still the screening to get in.
And you're in. Yeah. It's
It's the
very
same
small.
screening to get into the parks. So
Yeah, it's different. It's totally different. I agree with that too. And the amount of people that are there, it could be overwhelming compared to the theme park.
Well,
Yeah.
someone was saying the other day, "Oh, well, you don't even have to worry about like your bags on your stroller." I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think I would, if nothing else, the squirrels are going to steal your stuff. If not,
Right.
if not the pickpockets that are just part of life in a big city, you got to be smart. So
yeah.
and
Okay.
I'd hate for it to be turned into some kind of, horribleness that can easily be avoided by just having a few parameters set for your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up our show tonight. Gina, Marianne, any final thoughts for this family that you could just summarize up in a punch?
I'm really grateful to share with them all these ideas. I'll let you guys know how it goes. It'll probably be June or July this summer. So
I'm
Okay.
excited for them. I think
Mhm.
this is going to be an absolutely fun trip. And I hope that they take enough time for their family time. I get it. We've gone on business trips with Tom before where he had to spend most of his time doing work. But that time we spend as a family, that's precious. And I hope they really enjoy that time they get
same.
together.
Same. That's why I said let's do this so we can really make sure they have that maximum time together.
Yeah, when I saw this pop up in our backstage chat, I was like, let's just make a show on this because I think
Yeah.
the audience would love participating in here and we can have some nice, friendly debate because we've got some people that know both parks
Mhm.
really, really, really well in our community. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank our sponsors over at World of DVC, DVC Resale Market, DVC Rental Store, and Monera Financial for their continued support throughout season 9 of the show. Thank you to all of our Patreons as well for your continued support of our show. We do have a Patreon exclusive event coming up in November. If you want to join us on Patreon, it's just mydvcpoints.com/Patreon, or you could go to patreon.com/mydvcpoints. They'll both get you to the same place because I can never keep that straight. So I always just set it up so that both of them work, right? But thank you for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully you found something in today's show that'll give your family something to think about and help you spend some more quality time with your family and go out there and plan something magical and wonderful for them. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great night.